Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and hopefully the last video on the Audi, and you can see what we need to get on with. We've had Liam out, ears cut out the windscreen, curtain airbags on this one, gone, someone had cut them out, dashboard gone, steering wheel gone. Thankfully the seats are okay, but it is a full airbag kit. All 4 seat belts in this one have actually gone. They're all locked out, all of them. Thankfully it hasn't caused no damage on these pillars here. Normally it does break them, doesn't it, on other cars that we've done. And I need to crack on with this because it's actually an exchange airbag kit. I did say to him I don't want a repaired airbag kit, so this is actually a second-hand airbag kit. Nearly showed me address there. Second-hand airbag kit. So steering wheel, you can see I've got 4 seat belts there, 2 curtain airbags, and the correct dashboard for it. They do a couple of different variations where they have speakers in the dashboards here. It's probably the more higher end ones. They have these Bang & Olufsen sound systems in them, don't they? But I do always say, and it is a bit of a tip, if you are going to do an airbag kit, have a proper look at your dashboard first and keep this right near you for reference. And you can see the ones with these big silver washers in are your main bolts. So you've got one there, one in the centre behind the clocks. You've got a couple down here. Doesn't look like there's any up in there. And you've got to take your glove box out. There's another one there. He has left all these pigtails on for me in case mine are damaged. Sometimes when the airbag goes off, these do melt and it ruins them. So pretty much self-explanatory. Long as you can see all the bolts on this dash kit, it's going to be easy to get the other one out. Well, it's going to be a lot easier because you know where all the bolts are on it. This one did come with all switches and all the modules are in there, but I will be swapping all of those over. So like I say, this one's going back, hence why I've kept the box there. Not this one, sorry, the one out of the car. I'm going to get the one out of the car and get it swapped over for this one, and then we can throw them in that box, and it's finally be nice to see that airbag kit back in that car and completely done. Let's get straight on with it. So today we're trying something new. Never done voiceover before, and certainly never filmed with 2 cameras. So cracking straight on here, getting the head sun visors removed, getting all the nuts and bolts that are obvious just behind all the little side plates. Inside the glove box there was 3 or 4 bolts, and I also caught it from outside the car as well. And here I am removing the seats. I don't normally remove the seats when doing an airbag kit. This is probably the first time you've ever seen me actually removing the seats. But it did look very, very tight against the centre console, and I did have to change the seat belts as well. So it did make sense to actually just, you know what, let's just get them out. It took 5 minutes, 4 torques and 2 wires on each seat, and they come straight out. It is a new car, so everything was very, very easy. Up here, back on the sun visors, what an absolute nightmare they was to get out, but we got there in the end. So that's the near side curtain airbag all installed, guys. Once you've done these a few times, they do become easier, but these clips, you'd look at it and think, how am I going to get them out? Fortunately for me, the new airbags did come with these new clips and the new brackets around the airbags there. These actually split and explode when the airbag goes. These are actually a set of used airbags, they're not reloaded. So let's just go up here. I'm going to try and show you exactly what I mean about getting these out. So if we can see just inside there, you can probably just about on the right hand side there see that little tag. So what I'm going to do is put that torch up. Hopefully that still shows it. And then what I'll do, I'm not going to be able to pull it off, but ultimately you just get a little tool in there, and all you have to do is just pop that tag to one side. You see that one side there popped out? Let's try and do the other side on camera. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but let's put a little bit of weight on it. No, you do really need two hands. So the tag this side, I haven't managed to get out because I need to put a little bit of weight on it, but the other side pops straight out and that's now removed. So I'm just going to go along, get the rest of these out. There is quite a few. There's a bolt up here and of course a bolt down the bottom here, and we get this one swapped out as well. You can see it's been cut and shredded, and the seat belt, this side's not locked, but this side is dead tight and locked out. So let's get this swapped out. Just before I move on, guys, I wanted to explain what I meant. See those two little prongs down there, one that side and one the other side, and ultimately them little square holes, get them lined up and you hear it actually go home. With the back one, there's two little feet that go in them holes there, and then get that one lined up. It's a bit hard to film it, but and that is it. Two new curtain airbags. I've already done the front end of it, all fitted, so quite straightforward to do. And as long as you've got a little tiny pick to get in there, you can pop those straight out. But like I say, these new airbags come with those. I did a little bit of time lapse taking the roof lining and that out, but I did want to crack on with it, get some visors out, because it's all stuff ultimately, unless I just left the camera like that for all day watching me take it apart. But that's interesting, isn't it? Like cardboard sound deadening in the roof. But yeah, I'm going to move on now, probably take these pillars out and then start cracking straight on with the dashboard. Straight back in there. 8mm, used a little battery ratchet, 8mm all over it, only 4 or 5 screws in this whole dashboard kit, and it really is going well. As you can see, I did it on my own. It does make sense to do them on your own. When there's two of you in the car, it does make harder work of it. It is helpful lifting it in and lifting the old one out, but this one really didn't weigh anything, and I had the whole workshop there so I could open all the doors. Well, thank heavens for Chris actually working in the yard today, because it's not difficult, but I'll tell you what, I've never seen that actually the little vents in the dash are broken. I need to put that back together. I've never seen an airbag kit like that, have you?
There's a lot to it, isn't there?
That's all 8mm, not the little star drives. Yeah. I've taken out 3 star drives. One was for the kick plate, one was under the cowling here, and the other one was a kick plate the other side. It is literally all 8mm. You can still see one in there, but I am getting there with it slowly but surely. What I've been doing is just taking that cowling off, that surround. You've got to be so careful. This car, 22 reg car, 2,000 miles. I don't want to mark anything. I've got all the plastic trim tools out, and just down to that cowling there that goes around the clocks. You can see the cap I've had to remove there, and it sits flush. So I had to be very careful. In fact, I had to get in there with a little tiny blade just to pop it out. But I'm not going to time lapse too much more of it, guys. I am literally, I've just popped the airbag out there. I'm going to remove that, remove the steering wheel, and then get the rest of this stuff out. But we are getting there with it.
I know we've kind of covered it before, haven't we? But isn't it a shame that they don't design this as a removable panel?
They still do in some cars.
It should be in all
of them,
because the cost involved, and that whole dashboard's throwaway, isn't it?
Yeah, I know not everyone agrees with it, but this dashboard's actually got to go back.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what they do. They must refurbish them.
But it is a shame, isn't it? It'd be such an easy thing, wouldn't it, to make this top panel removable?
They used to in the, like, what reg? 51 reg Fiestas?
Was it a Polo? Early Polo?
Yeah, the early Polos, yeah. Yeah, loads of them. It? I was trying to work out how that light come out, and it turns out it don't. You take the surround off it, and then the roof lining just falls down, yeah. But look at this cardboard. Sound deadening.
Yeah.
Both curtains are in, Chris.
Yeah, good.
Right, I'm going to carry on, mate. Just about ready to pull that out, guys. It is. There could possibly still be a couple of wires attached that I'll need to just use the trim clipper on, but let's give it a go at pulling it out. course, in an ideal world, it's easier when there's two of you, but Chris is out doing the fence, and I'm not going to go and disturb him. We'll manage. We've managed before, we'll manage now. You can see we've got one wire attached down here. Not actually attached. They actually come out lovely. You have one here in the bottom of the dashboard, and you had that one there in the bottom of the dash as well, and you can see it just slides onto these clips here. Very, very straightforward. Lots and lots of 8mm on this. I've literally only undone a couple of screws, but I know that does look scary, and a lot of you say it all the time, how do you know where it all goes back? But guys, the key is crack straight on with it. I'm going to be putting that dashboard back in here in a minute. All I'm going to do first is, this is the new dash, remove that pigtail. You can see the controls are still in there, and if I just spin this over quickly, sorry about the two hands there, you can see that module in there is not for this vehicle. Here's our dashboard. I'm going to whip that out and swap it over, just so that everything has changed on it. But yeah, very, very nice. Let's get it all stripped out, put it back together. What I am going to say, see this heater control, see underneath here, two little slots, and you stick the radio pins in there. So just like an old radio, but I did show in the back, I didn't show in the back earlier. I'll show it on the other one when we're putting it in, but basically, yeah, it's just got the little clips on it, and this just slots in. So let's get all that swapped over anyway. That's the new one, straight in now, and basically you push it home and there's 3 or 4 bolts that actually go right up the back, one there behind the clocks, there's 2 there in the centre console, and then 3 or 4 back where the glove box is, and also there's 2 on each end. And once they were sitting flush, I knew that it was all the way home. I just pushed it, double checked it was all right, did a little cut in there as you see, and everything is going absolutely perfect with it. And straight back in. It actually went in a bit easier than it come out, guys, didn't it? But I did prepare it by those little pins down the front where it slides into. I actually took the rubbers off and put them on the dash first, got under there with a torch, checked that they had seated, and they're perfect. So this was sat flush to the framework behind. I've bolted it up. I've stuck one in the end here, one in the other end, and one in the top. And I am not going to bore you with putting this back together, because it is the exact reverse of what I've just took apart. And it is, believe it or not, just lots and lots of 8mm bolts. I know I've said that quite a few times. That little red wire goes through there. You can see I routed everything back exactly where it goes. So, and I'll swap that module over. I'll get all that plugged back in and just continue on and get it all built back up. I managed to get both of those wiring both sides of that wiring harness clipped back up underneath the dashboard as well. So it's all gone back exactly back to factory how it was. Let's crack on and get it all plugged in. I forgot to say, guys, I actually left that out there in the sun today, just to really, some of the creases to come out of it, because it never gets exposed to direct sunlight, does it? But moving inside, sorry, I'm zoomed in so close there. That is everything all back in. All the trims, I've managed to fix this. It was broken. All of the insides of it was all falling to pieces, but very self-explanatory, went back together absolutely fine. So the last little piece of the puzzle in here, obviously apart from the airbags as well, the seat belts, is this steering wheel airbag. So I'm going to get that in, and then I'm going to concentrate on getting that roof lining finished. I really, really want to get this car completely finished today. Well, in this video, we're definitely getting this airbag kit completely done. So let's just continue on with it. Let's get this airbag fitted. Simply plug in there, that yellow plug, little black plug there you can see, and this will just pop in and clip in. So while I've been doing that airbag kit, Chris has actually been down here renewing all of this fence from the end of the back of the yard all the way down to the back end of this new yard, and he's got to continue on still another 6 bays, but that's not until they come down. Those silver ones you can see there in the background. Ultimately the yard's going to be made bigger, but your boundary is even further out than that, Chris, isn't it? Your fence is actually behind those trees, so yeah, another good few feet behind there. But you've that's like a couple of mornings and 1 day you've had on that, isn't it? That's a lot of work.
It is for one person, it is quick, but it's got to be done, isn't it? While the ground's soft.
That's right.
It'd be 3 times as hard, wouldn't it?
In the winter, yeah.
No, in
the summer rather.
Yeah, leave it another month or so and the ground will start getting really hard, especially with these trees here. So yeah, wanted doing while it was nice and wet and soft.
Definitely. And that's your little tool you made up there.
Yep. Yeah, worked a treat, that did. Really pleased with that.
Chris actually, I'll show it later on when it's in the workshop, was saying he actually fitted a blade to the bottom of that, so it cut through and shaved away at all the roots rather than destroying the end of it. So yeah, you've done well there, mate. I'm going to go and have a tidy up. That's me absolutely beat for the day, but all done. I've got to put the sun visors back on, but all the A-pillars are back on, all the roof linings back in, handles are back on. A lot of the creases have come out, but I will be wiping it over with a damp cloth. I've showed that before. It really does help with a damp cloth, and especially now, like the A posts, B posts, C posts, etc. are all back on. It will pull it all where it needs to be. So yeah, apart from a bit of a wipe over, there's a lot of handprints on there, but all went back together lovely, and not one nut, screw or washer left. It was just those 8 mils. 2 screws in the cowling up there, one screw in the cowling down there, and 2 screws for the kick plates. And just underneath that cover, there was 2 screws as well. But that was it. And it was quite straightforward and nice to do. Never seen this before, how that come out. 2 little stereo pins up under there, and that pulls out. Very, very different. Not seen that. And it once I spotted it, it was very, very easy to come out. But what I'll do, the only reason I haven't given all this a wipe over is I've got Liam to cut the windscreen out so I could crack on with it, and there's no point me putting this, cleaning all this inside until Liam has put that windscreen in. You can see I've given it a vacuum out because I wanted to ultimately clean underneath these seats before it went back in. Sorry guys, I'm sitting there just pointing the camera at the dash. So nice, lovely, you can see it out there. It is absolutely boiling. I can't wait to get home and jump in the shower. So that is going to be the end of today's video, and a full airbag kit on the little Audi A1. There is just a couple of little covers and trims I've got to put back on, but we're over the worst of it and it's all back in there. The other one's all packed up, ready to go back as well. So if you did enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram at Salvage Rebuilds. You can also follow Chris on his jollies at Salvage Rebuilds Chris. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you very, very soon in the next one.